We're just going through an ordinary day. And then, boo, abruptly, it's the cabaret. This is dramatic. It's not one of those gradual increments as we see in the 11th hour, in the ordinary world, in this extraordinary, off-the-chart world of the shaman. These quantum leap promotions happen abruptly. You're not contriving these dramatic moments. You're just channeling the source's energy, scratching that itch, following that bouncing ball. And it's not a basketball, it's a football. It takes crazy, abrupt bounces, unpredictable. So we're riding that kind of a wave, that kind of a current. These sudden cabarets happen when you let go in that way. One of my favorite abrupt cabaret unveilings was at a poetry reading in Beverly Hills, gosh, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. A friend of mine was this woman, a poet, who lived in Texas, and she was doing a tour to promote her new book of poetry. So she was in Beverly Hills at this bookstore. Her poetry is so, how to call it? She uses words I've never heard of. And she describes experiences that are so intimate. They're out there and they're in here so deep. It's almost unreachable where it's so mysterious, and you say, my gosh, the depths that she goes to in her poetry. And when I was talking with her older sister afterwards, married, happily married, kids, and the older sister was a former Playboy playmate. And even 20 years later, at age 40, she was breathtakingly beautiful. And this was the first real conversation I'd had with her. And we were talking about her sister and how difficult it must be for her to even live among people on this planet, because she's in such a zone that it's almost impossible to communicate how lonely she must be. And in speaking this passionate truth that was gushing out of me, this stunningly beautiful woman was all of a sudden totally unconnected to anything we'd been talking about. Her sister, the poet, all of a sudden out of nowhere, she says, when will I see you again? This passion that I had been gushing so freely, this truth that I had been struggling to express because the feeling I was trying to convey was so elusive, but there was a truth that she felt. And this truth, this passion, this zeal that I was expressing pierced her heart. Any man would have desired this woman. And all of a sudden we were in this amorous cabaret. Just the two of us. The rest of the world ceased to exist. Her husband was vaporized for this moment. This gushing of mine pierced her heart, and she's looking me in the eye and saying with passion, when will I see you again? Suddenly, abruptly, the cabaret opens.